Hi guys, welcome to this episode. Today I'm going to be talking about aperture, shutter and ISO on an entry-level DSLR camera. We're using the Canon 250D again for this episode. So how do we change the ISO, aperture and shutter? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in manual mode. And then when I've put it in manual mode, I'm going to go to menu. So I'm going to switch the camera on first. So there's your on button. Put your camera on first. And then here you've got your shutter, your aperture, your ISO, your focal point. So we're going to be playing around with those three things. So how do you do it? So if I click on the menu button, click it twice, and it will take me to, click on the menu button, click on the menu button again, and then it will take me to my menu. So it's asking me to press this Q button. So I'm going to press that Q button. Now what this allows me to do is change my shutter speed with touchscreen. So I can literally just go and hover with my wheel over here. It's got a nice grip as well, this wheel, so it's very nice. And I can literally just go right down to, if I'm doing slow motion, slow shutter speed work, down to -1 second, -2 second, etc. Go up to 15th of a second or 1/25th of a second to make it a bit quicker. If I'm happy with that, just press set it. And then that's set now. I can go to my f-stop, change my f-stop as well, like so. So this camera goes all the way to f22 on this 18 to 55mm lens. Okay, so very easy to do. Again, menu, my ISO, I can increase and decrease my ISO over here as well. So that's one way of doing it, folks, which is great, but I want to see it with a visual. So if I click on this little like camera symbol with a little red dot, which is essentially my record button, if I click on that, it will take me to my viewfinder. Now it's black at the moment, but if I click on this icon here, I can now manually change my shutter speed, and it gives me a visual on the screen. So if I increase this shutter speed, I can clearly see that my image is becoming more in focus. Okay, so again, if I click back on that, so now it's 1/10 of a second. My f-stop, my f-stop is my aperture. So again, if I increase and decrease, I can clearly see a visual. Okay, so I might put it on 4. So it's asking me to kind of put it on 4. That's on 4 now. And my ISO, if I click on that button, I can take it all the way. So ISO sensitivity of light. So the more I take it, the more sensitivity it gets. And I am shooting in quite a low lit environment with this video. So if I take it down to maybe sort of kind of 500, I can clearly see that it's in a pretty decent place. Okay, maybe take a bit more, maybe to about 800 maybe. So that's 1600, about 800 maybe. So I get very limited graininess. So that's very useful, folks. I would probably use this as opposed to going to that, because the reason why I'm not using that is because I can't see a visual. But if I click on that, I've got a visual, I've got a histogram as well, and I've got all these settings that I can use, and they're useful. So again, if I can go into other things such as my white balance, my picture style, my auto lighting optimizer. So you can just literally touch all these and change them as you please whilst you're shooting. So the file of the size, file of the document that you're going to take a picture. So it's much quicker, more responsive. My only negative is this screen is quite small. So if you've got big fingers, these icons are quite small, to tell you the truth. So you might you have to be quite sort of delicate with it. And if you've got bad eyesight, truth be told, the numbers are quite small as well. It'd be quite nice if they were in a different tone when it's in low lit environment, so you can see them a little bit better. So that's a little bit of criticism in terms of these buttons that I can see. However, it's still very responsive to be able to get to all my settings within this touchscreen. So yeah, that's very useful, folks. So again, if I click on that Q button, here's my Q button. So here's my Q button, sorry. And if I go to that button there, I can change various things on here. And if I want to change the aperture shutter, I can still go back to here and change it over here as well by clicking on the Q button. And I can change my shutter, aperture, ISO, and all the other features that are available within this camera. Or I can click on this Q button and change it via this device. So if I click on info, it gives me more info. So if I click on, say, I've just clicked on info, it's all gone. And if it's touch screen, so I can take a picture by clicking on it like this. And again, it gives me some information. So look, it's very responsive. I'm clicking all on this screen, and it's about to take a picture. But if I click on info, it gives me a little bit more information. So if you just want the aperture, shutter, and ISO on there, which I was demonstrating, it's all on there. If you click on info, you've got all the other features. It's got a histogram. So if I move the histogram around, you can see that the color ratio and the color balance changes. So if I focus to various points within the frame, what I'm doing now is I'm just touching the screen, and every time I touch up the screen on certain areas, it focuses in that area, and you can see clearly the histogram changes as well. With the histogram, you want a nice S on it to give you a nice color balance within the shot as well. So very useful. So, you know, like f-stop. So if you want your shutter again, click on that one, move it in and out. When I'm happy, just click on that. Your f-stop, click on that. Your aperture, shall I say, sorry. And you can change your aperture by going in here and changing it around. Okay. So again, very useful. My only, like I said, my only reservation for this is these buttons are very small. You know, like, and I've not got the biggest fingers, but I'm still struggling to press some of these buttons. So, you know, it'd be nice if this screen, to be honest, it'd be nice if this screen was all of that, you know, or the whole thing. Because I'm not sure in today's world, in terms of like smartphones, even if you need those, it'd be nice if they were digital and you can just sort of hover through the screen like you do on a phone, as opposed to using these. But I think a lot of people still like these, and that's why they're here. I personally like them myself, and I would use them on a 7D or a 5D. But I think for these entry-level cameras with the sort of new generation of people using them, personally, I think you should just go for the big LCD screen and have this as a digital, all these as digital icons, and you can just sort of hover through them, which might be better in regards to sort of navigating this camera, because it's a bit weird. You kind of click on menu, it takes you to your menu, which is there. So there's your menu. And if I want to change my shutter speed, I can touch that, but then I can also hover it up and up down here, and I can sort of hover through it here like this as well. So I don't see the point in that if you could just do that. You know, like, I suppose like some people may prefer to change the shutter and aperture like this, which I think most people that might buy this camera will do because they're probably smartphone users. But then what's the point? This has become slightly redundant in use. This would be better as a digital, maybe like a little joystick, for example, like a digital joystick where you could hover your mouse, a little bit like the Magic Remote on the LG. I think that's quite nice, and that will work really nice on this, to tell you the truth. But yeah, just guys, I'm just going to wrap up because I'm stuck going on now. This is a simple demonstration in your aperture and your shutter. So there's your shutter, and there's your aperture, and there's your ISO. And if I click back on there and go to info, there's your old-fashioned way of changing it with a touchscreen without a visual as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you've got any questions about this video, please do post, and I will be happy to respond to anything you guys might have. See you later. Thank you, guys. Bye.